What would change in your life if you were no longer afraid of death or your past? This is Reclaim Your Life with Irina, and today I'm joined by Lei Mohr, an intuitive life coach and author from Hawaii, whose life was completely transformed by 3 near-death experiences. Lei opens up about a horrific second childbirth, the infections that almost killed her, and the moment she found herself outside her body, wrapped in indescribable joy and love, and consciously choosing to return to raise her 2 sons. She also reveals an extraordinary shared death experience with her abusive mother that brought unexpected peace, understanding, and healing to one of the most painful relationships in her life. In this episode, you'll learn how Lei turned trauma into empowerment, why living in the now is the key to freedom, and the simply daily centering practices she uses to stay balanced, present, and connected. If you ever felt trapped by your past, weighed down by fear, or unsure how to step into your true self, this conversation will show you what's possible on the other side of letting go. Get ready to reclaim your life, discover inspiring stories, practical tools, and the path to true happiness. This is Reclaim Your Life with Irina. Let's begin the journey. This holiday season, skip the candles and gift cards. Give the woman in your life something that truly matters, or better yet, give it to yourself. The gift inside is for every woman who spent decades being everything to everyone else. It's time to remember who you are and rediscover your happiness. This isn't just a book, it's a permission to put yourself first again. Available now. Because the best gift you can give is helping someone find themselves. Hello and welcome to Reclaim Your Life with Irina. Today we have an amazing guest. Her name is Lei Mohr. She's joining us from the Big Island, Hawaii, my favorite place. She is an author, an intuitive life coach who guides others to transform their lives. She also had 3 near-death experiences and 1 shared death experience, which were the platform to transform her life from victim to creator. Welcome, Lei. It is a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. It's an honor to be with you.
Thank you. Thank you. So please share with us your story, who you are in your own words.
Oh, who am I? Let's just start with the experiences. When my second son was born, the pregnancy had been kind of interesting anyway, but the birth was extremely traumatic. He was flipping in my stomach over and over, and they basically had to reach up inside of me and turn him around many times. Don't try this at home, please. It's extremely painful.
Yeah.
And after he was born, I came down with a very huge infection, a fever that most people would say, you can't live through that. Yeah, well, that's the point. I did not live through it. Mm-hmm. I was in the hospital on the bed, just laying there on the bed, pretty much almost comatose. Mm-hmm. And I sat up and I looked back and there's my body back there.
Oh, wow.
And then I floated out of my body and up through the room and into a very dark space. But it was complete unconditional love, no judgment at all, joy, just complete bliss. And I went through this little tunnel, and I assume it's a tunnel. It's very black. I can't see anything. Mm-hmm. I got to what was like a widening spot, or that's what I perceived it as. And I stopped there. And then this voice, which was just the epitome of understanding and just love. And he asked, I perceived him as a he. Mm-hmm. He asked, do you want to come now? And I just panicked for a second. And I said, I can't. I have 2 boys to raise. Mm-hmm. And he just, I perceived kind of a nod of the head. Mm-hmm. And no judgment at all. And I went right back and was in the bed, and the fever broke just like that.
Oh, wow.
And the next morning I was out of the hospital. But I had realized in that I had made a choice. I was empowered because I chose to be here and I had something to do. And then we fast forward, and all of these seemed, I found recently a timeline. These all seem to happen in late August or early September. That's when all of them happened, except the shared death experience. But the next two were not as major. They were both illnesses with high fevers. And the first one, I was in bed and completely comatose. And a thought came into my head, you know, it would be really easy to step over that line. And I considered for a moment. And I said, I didn't even consciously make the decision. I thought, if I'm going to stay, I need water. I hadn't had anything to drink in 3 days in a high fever. I needed drink. And that was how I came back. And then the third one, which happened more recently, it happened in 2019. And I'd been really sick, and they now say it probably was early COVID. And I was, again, desperately sick. And it just, I wasn't here. I physically wasn't here. I was in a place that was kind of gray, brown, foggy, nothing distinct. And yet I knew there were all sorts of beings around me who were chanting to me. And they were chanting, "You have done what you came here to do," over and over and over. And at first it's so blissful and nice. And I'm just, yeah, this is wonderful. What? And at that moment I came back and I was in my body again. And I'm like, if I've done what I came here to do, why am I here? And that began my empowering and who I am today. So that's a really quick overview of those three. The shared death experience was with my mother, and that happened this last December. We had a very, very, very difficult childhood. She was quite abusive. She was very anger driven and motivated by frustration and fear. And it was not pleasant to be around her. And eventually she shot my sister-in-law in the head 5 times and went to jail. And so she stayed there for the rest of her time, for 15 years. Now, in December, and I've had no contact with her in any of that time. And in fact, even before that. But in December, in the middle of December, I started getting these just very anxious feelings. It felt like it should have been painful, but I didn't actually feel the pain. But I could feel everything around it, the angst and everything around it. I had no idea what was going on. And the only contact that the authorities had with anyone in the family was my brother. And I talked to him, but I hadn't talked to him at this point in time. And then after 2 days, it was just like pure bliss just flooded over me, and just pure bliss. I was just like, oh yeah. I didn't know what was going on. And then shortly thereafter, my brother called me and he said, they told me she passed. And I told him what had happened. And I said, I shared it. And he said that they had called him a couple days earlier and told him that she was not in good shape. And I said, I shared her death with him. And afterward, after I shared the death with her, well, actually, let's back up a little bit. Even before that, I had come to the realization that what we all are here is like it's a movie. And each of us is an actor in the other person's movie. So we're all actors in everybody's movies.
Right.
And what she had done is she had loved me so much that she came into this life and I came into her life. We came together so that she could give me the complete foundation to transform all of what happened to me, all of my personal story, all of the ancestral story, and all of the familial story. And she gave me that foundation. That's how much she loved me, to come into that and treat me that way so that I could do the work I needed to do, which is why I am now someone who helps other people transform their lives. And after she passed, she gave me her past to also heal, which I have now done. So I hope that's a nutshell enough of what it's all about.
That's incredible. And you are here to tell the story. That's amazing. What did you learn through all of your experiences? What were the three biggest lessons?
The three biggest lessons are that we need to live in the now, and we need to release and let go of the past. That's all part of living in the now. And when we do live in the now, we can share in this joy and this love that is out there for us if we are willing to allow it in. And the third one is we are all completely interconnected in oneness. There is no separation between any of us. Everything that anyone goes through, everyone is going through. And everyone's pain is shared by everyone else. So if we want to have the best world that we can, the world that I can see, it's all about love.
You're so right. It's the biggest, the strongest emotion. Love makes it all possible. And to say about being present, so totally agree with you. Oftentimes we spend a lot of time in the past, especially if past was traumatic or something happened. We often go back to that place, even though it's a miserable place and we were suffering and we didn't, like, say, were treated nicely. And somehow we still go back there instead of, just like you said, letting go. Letting go is so important. And it is not to say we are letting go the other person who treated us badly. We want to let go ourselves so that we can then be present, because in every single moment we create a future. And where do we create it from? From being present in the now. Every little second of us being present, we're creating a future. And it is up to us to what we want to create, whether we want to create the sad, miserable story of yesterday or we want to create something different. And sometimes it takes time to realize that. But so powerful, slowing down to be present, because our world is so fast. We're constantly bombarded with messages, people calling us, emails are sent, meetings need to be attended, and we miss that opportunity maybe to see a sunrise or see a smile on a child's face and kind of slowing down and pausing and savoring it like it's a beautiful dish, or enjoying a piece of music and being right there with all your being, not just fifth, they say a lot about multitasking. But be there, all of your ears, your eyes, your being, be there at once to experience the present moment. So totally agree with you. Did you have a hero growing up? Or somebody you admired or aspired to be like?
In my childhood years, no. My later heroes, I've had so many, and I consider them all teachers. Even though I didn't necessarily meet any of them. The one that was the biggest teacher right after I came back from the third near-death experience, and I was like, well, if I'm still here, how long? And so I started preparing for the eventuality that I wouldn't be here anymore. That teacher was Ram Dass, and he has been just instrumental in my life. And to the point where when he passed, which was very, very shortly after the near-death experience, but long enough that I had several months with him, just pouring every bit of his knowledge and his experience into me. After he passed, I was sitting here on my couch with the door open. It's December, and I can do that. Not everybody can, but I had the door open. And right on the other side of my carport, there's a field. Well, not a field. It's a lot, and it's very overgrown. Lots of trees. Looks like a forest. And between the forest and my carport, there's a very small area, and it's got trees in it and such. And I see someone walking through there, and I'm not thinking anything about it. And I recognize that somebody walked through there. And then I thought, wait a minute. That person was wearing a white robe, and he had long hair that was kind of unkempt and a beard. And I thought about it. I thought, Ram Dass just paid me a visit? Really? This is unbelievable. I can't even believe this. And I walked outside, and just off to the way a little bit, there's a guava tree. And here, in the middle of December, when it's way off season, were 4 perfectly ripe guavas under the tree in the shape of either a square or a diamond. He'd left me the 4 guavas. I was like, okay, I get it. He did it. He really is part of the oneness. But the reason that he did that was because instead of seeing his death as, oh, I'm so sad he's gone, I miss him so much, I had realized already how we are all one, how we cannot be, I mean, he could not possibly leave because everything is part of the same thing. It's all wholeness. Mm-hmm. And so when he passed, for me, it was almost like celebration of his leaving his body, leaving his little tight meat suit, and being freed into the oneness of everything. And it was so glorious to feel that way for someone's passing. By the way, I also felt that after my mother passed. That was what she was giving, was that glorious freedom, especially where she had been for the last 15 years. So the whole message about all of that is that we can have oneness, and we can have what people call heaven on earth if we become part of that oneness and we live in that oneness.
Mm-hmm. How do we become part of that oneness?
By giving up all of the past, by being in the moment, and by understanding truly that all of us are made of love from the same creative source, whatever you call it, whatever name you or moniker you give it, that if we are created of the same source, we are all one, always, and yes, could never be separate.
Awesome. Awesome. Who did you want to be when you were growing up?
I just wanted to survive.
Okay.
I didn't want to be anybody. I just wanted to survive.
What is your biggest fear?
I try to make sure that I deal with those as they come up and before they come up.
Okay.
I don't. The book that I'm writing now, which is about all of this, is called There Was No Fear. In each of my near-death experiences and the shared death experience and everything else, there was no fear. Mm-hmm. Fear is an emotion based in separation. And if we can get past that, we won't have fear. Fear is not real. Fear is our perception. And we can change our perceptions.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. What sets your soul on fire?
Love. Love in its many, many forms. And especially when I can have one of my clients have a huge breakthrough and they just understand for the first time how everything is oneness and love. I glow.
That's good. What is your proudest accomplishment?
Being able to guide other people, and several of them, who are then so grateful that I have been in their life and they have been able to change their lives or reperceive their lives in a way that they can now live with more peace and joy, love, gratitude.
Yes, yeah, that's beautiful. Yes. What is your favorite book to read?
The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho.
Okay. I haven't read that one yet, so it's on my list.
It's short, it's easy, it's deep, but it's also, it's a parable. So you can read it and say, oh, this is a cute little story.
Oh.
I love it.
Nice, nice. If you would change anything about yourself, would you do anything?
Would I change anything about myself? I would love myself even more. I think that's it.
All right. What kind of advice would you give if you had an opportunity to give your younger self? That person who you said you wanted to survive, what would you tell her?
That there is joy in life, that there is love in life, and you will find it. Keep going. You're gonna be okay. You will have everything you need, and you are not only going to survive, you are going to thrive.
Good one. Do you have a favorite practice for your well-being that you practice every day?
Yoga. I love yoga, stretching out and getting all the muscles free and moving.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I love yoga.
Awesome, awesome. Do you do anything for your mind?
Oh, constantly. Everybody thinks that to have a practice, you should do it 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day. You get to a point where it becomes a lifestyle and you live it all the time. And you don't have to, you can. Before we got on this call, I sat for a few minutes, just a very few minutes, and I centered and balanced. But I also center and balance constantly all throughout my day.
Mm-hmm. How long have you been practicing that?
That all depends on what you want to consider practicing it. I didn't have.
When did you make it part of your life, like that you're doing it every day, throughout the day?
Well, I'll just say real quickly, when I was in Russia, I went to Russia because the son who had been born second, was a very interesting child to raise, extremely difficult child to raise. He has made some choices that are based in what they call mental issues. We went to Russia because no one in my family would help me with him. They thought I was the one who was crazy, and they thought I was nuts. I mean, you stay away from her. So I took him to Russia because they said, we'll help you. While I was in Russia, without ever having any experience with it, any training in it, any research in it at all, this was before we had computers everywhere and such. I learned how to meditate. I learned how to do self-massage. I learned how to just really center. I could put myself down and take a 15-minute nap and wake up in exactly 15 minutes and be refreshed. I learned all of these things in Russia. I learned how to go into what they call a trance state in Russia.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a huge part of my life, and probably that was the biggest turning point, even though I had no idea what I was doing. I mean, okay, so I did this weird thing on the subway or on the tram or wherever I happened to have been. I had no idea what I was doing or how I was doing it. I still think I had an awfully lot of beings on the other side of the veil who were supporting, loving, guiding, protecting. I mean, they were like all around me during this whole thing, giving me all of the things that I needed to be able to not only survive, but to get through it with all of us intact. And we did.
That's incredible. How is your son now?
I hope that someday he finds his way.
All right, fair enough. Yes, what kind of parting words about reclaiming one's life? I know you shared that everything is love. Any other words of wisdom on reclaiming your life?
Yes. Don't fear it. Don't fear society around you or societal norms. Don't think that you can't. Don't be small. Be the big person that you really are on the inside. Be the person who lives within you, in your heart, in your, I'm going to say it, soul, whatever you want to term that, inner self, whatever. Be that person, because that's who you are meant to be. You are not meant to be the small person that society tells you you should be. Each and every one of us, if we lived as the people that we really are, if we lived in a wholeness with everyone else, all of those fears would be gone, and they can be gone.
Thank you. Thank you. That's beautiful. And you're so right. We like to play small because it's safe, and we then dismiss who we are, the beings of light. Thank you.
Of pure light energy.
Yeah. If people would like to connect with you, learn more about you, where would they go?
I have a website. It's handletheshift.com. I am on LinkedIn under my name, Lei Mohr. I think it's also under Handle the Shift. Mm-hmm. I have a web page, which is under my name, and a Facebook, or not a web page, a Facebook page. And I have a Facebook group, which is under Handle the Shift. People can get a hold of me through any of these ways.
All right. Thank you. We'll include everything in episode notes. Thank you so much for coming and sharing your breakthroughs, your wisdom, your near-death experiences with us. And the most important thing of all is that love is the most important thing to remember, and that life is meant to be joyful. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure and an honor.